welcome to another episode of Before the Fight. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Shotgun Shannon O'Connell. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you. And Nick Noonan from Noonan Boy Promotions. Mate, lots to talk about after the weekend.
Lots to talk about. We can't wait to have Big Bang and Benny Kite on the show.
Another amazing fight that's coming up is the super lightweight title. Frosty, we've had you on the show. We've been talking to you just before the fight got announced, the rematch. How are you at the moment?
Yeah, I'm good. Much better than when you see me last time. Less than 2 weeks out now and just 100% focused and can't wait to get in there. The work's been done.
It was a cracking fight, that first one.
Yeah, it was. It was an awesome fight.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be better this time.
Oh, he looks keen, he looks determined.
I'm keen.
Now, mate, before we get to it, we're going to touch on it really quickly. You saw the episode last week.
Yep.
Stevie Sparks.
Yes. Look, I don't think he's just trying to prove. He's doing what every fighter wants to do, and he wants to prove that he's the best. That's what we're all in this sport for, and that's why we're all at the top. We're all trying to prove we're the best. It could happen down the road. Who knows? He calls out anyone who's at the top. As you see now, Waylon Law's got the title. He's even put his name in there. So he's just trying to prove he's the best, as we all are. So, yeah, no bad blood there.
Excellent. How do you think you'd match up with him?
I think it'd be good. We've had a few sparring sessions in the past. So I think it'll be a good competitive fight, that one. Yeah, it'd be tough.
Now, he said something that you said that he's got those country hands.
He's got them country hands, yeah, I tell him. He does, he hits hard. And his record proves it. Every single one of his wins is a knockout. That's not an accident.
Mate, how have you improved in camp since last time we spoke to you?
I've improved a lot. We brought in a breathing coach this time. The one that the Maloney boys use, Fletcher Techniques. So that's been interesting. That's been good, learning to breathe correctly, which, you think breathing your whole life, you know what you're doing, but, it's techniques because, a 10-round fight, it's 30 minutes of fighting, but we don't talk about the 9 minutes of recovery time that we get in the fight. So we're working on that, and my fitness is 10 times better than last time. You guys see me at, I would say, my worst.
That was a hard weight cut.
I came in probably the worst I've been in for a fight, and I still had that performance. So I'm extremely confident, and I can't wait to prove just how good I am.
What did you put that down to? Why did you come in the worst?
It was undisciplined, ill discipline. That was coming off of COVID. It was 3 months no gym, eating whatever I want kind of thing, and then all of a sudden 2 months of training camp trying to get that weight off, and it was just a struggle.
And it makes such a difference, hey, like when you start stressing about your weight, you're going to training to lose weight, not to better yourself.
Yeah. Obviously with Alfie, you've got a very strong bond. Is this what's going on?
The chemistry in the corner is very important. You can't, for me, I can't have someone in the corner that's going to be screaming and yelling at me. That's not going to help. Alfie's perfect. He's nice and calm and relaxed. We take the first 30 seconds of the break to just breathe. No water, nothing like that. Because, I see people, they get back and the coach is slapping them and hitting them and barking in their face, trying to put water down their throats. Like, can they just have a second to breathe first? So me and Alfie have great chemistry, and he's really good.
So that's probably something that came, because Alfie came from Chris McCullen as well. Yeah. Chris McCullen used to make us take 3 deep breaths after every round before he'd even give us water, and you'd be in there going, give me water, and you'd breathe.
Yeah, because
I actually do that. I do that with my own fighters as well.
It's hard 3 to drink breaths, when you don't have breath,
and you got to hold it in, and then like with what you said about the saying, don't tell them what not to do. As a fighter, if you're tired and fatigued, if I say don't do this, that's what goes into your head.
Exactly.
And
correct.
You do it.
You're reinforcing negatives.
Eddie Renuso likes Canelo to stand for a bit.
Yes.
Breathe. 10,
it's easier to breathe like that.
Then drop, water, breathe. 30 seconds.
Especially when you sit down with your
groin guard. I start
guard.
taking my 3 deep breaths before I get to the corner, just so I can get a drink.
Especially when you sit down, your groin guard starts pushing into your stomach and things like that. It's a little bit harder to breathe. But so that's pretty smart, standing up and breathing first.
Yeah,
he's looking good.
Yeah.
He's looking smart. He's looking composed. He's looking very comfortable.
Mentally strong.
Mentally strong. Much stronger.
The weight's not going to be a problem this time, so I'm happy as can be.
Are you going to change anything up, without giving too much away?
It's not so much about changing; it's about adding. I think
improving.
Because it's not like I did anything wrong. It wasn't like my technique was flawed or anything like that. It was about the work rate, which is what we've been working on a lot of. And just back to that breathing coach, it's not about the recovery so much. It's about going into the fight already conditioned. So you're not coming back to the ring or back to the corner panting and out of breath, you know. So, which is good. We're looking. I'm telling you right now, we're looking fit.
I don't think you need to change anything. That's a battle of styles. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Like you said, you improve on that and sharpen that up. That makes for a very different fight.
Yeah, 100%. And that is just one style that I brought to the ring for that one fight. I can fight with different styles in different ways. I show pockets of that sometimes when I start moving or using my feet. So I just have to make sure I make the adjustments in there, that I'm doing the right thing at the right time.
Mate, we're hoping for a big 2021.
Yes, thank you.
I'm Stevie Sparks and you're watching Before the Fight.
Hi, I'm Dennis McKean, the Terror, and you're watching Before the Fight.
Round 2, All-Star Boxing Academy. Ben Harrington, big weekend for you, mate.
Huge
Vegas
weekend,
Larfield. Vegas Larfield. Let's start with him. You got a bit emotional.
Oh mate, I was crying like a baby. I couldn't be there, and I've had Vegas since he was 12, so he walked in the door, didn't know his left foot from his right foot. And yeah, now he's boxing in Las Vegas, so I was like a proud dad.
I thought he won the first round. Second round, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, he did. I saw the scorecards. He won the first round and lost
he
the
won
second
the
round.
first
And
round.
then,
Yeah, so
middle
I
of the
thought
second round,
after
yeah.
the second round, I was like 1 round each.
Yeah,
but
I
I
agree.
was worried because I thought the Mexican was going to keep coming on stronger, but
yeah.
that didn't happen.
Yeah, he just needed to use his feet a bit. So
Yeah.
as we spoke, I spoke to Ange after it, and he had him digging the body early, and then to box him a little bit later.
Oh,
as
and
soon as he
wasn't
started
digging
using
that
his
body,
yeah.
those body shots were amazing.
As soon as he started using his feet, the Mexican, he can't really punch going forward. He's kind of just a heel-toe walk-up fighter. Vegas' foot defence made him miss, and it become pretty easy from there.
The composure of the kid at 17, second pro fight, middle of the second round, he had to back himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously there wasn't the crowd noise, but there was the energy.
Yeah, for sure.
How proud of you that he matured that quickly in that round?
Yeah, obviously I'm amazingly proud of him, but there's been such a lot of work that's gone into him. So a little bit of history in this. So I sent Vegas over to America with a coach, mate of mine, Jay Toot, from down the Gold Coast. Now I could have gone on that trip, and he was 16 at the time, so I didn't go. And my reason was that he needs to learn. So he needs to learn to be in uncomfortable situations with a different coach. And he fought a young Mexican over there as well, and he got the job done. And then he went to Poland on another trip, and I didn't go. And I could have gone. He went to Samoa, and I could have gone. I didn't go. All these things kind of built to this. That what we saw was that he wasn't worried. He wasn't flustered. He's composed. He's been in that situation a heap. And I like to do that with a lot of my amateurs because they've got to build their own boxing brains. So yeah.
Some things you can teach them, some things they just have to learn for themselves.
Yeah.
Look at the
Exactly.
experience he's going to get out of that. Yes.
He's
Well, he
just
got it.
turned
We saw him grow up
18
in
years
that second
old,
round.
and he looked like he belonged there.
Yeah.
He belonged in that ring. He belonged in Vegas. He did amazing.
Yeah.
He didn't look like it phased him at all.
No, I agree.
Now the emotional roller coaster in the room. We saw that first round, we saw the middle of the second round, and then all of a sudden shortened him right up, and down goes the Mexican. The place erupted. What was the first thing that went through your mind?
I wasn't in the room with you guys. I had to go downstairs. I watched it by myself. I was in the pokey room, and
really?
I'm sitting by myself, just sitting there going, just shitting myself, because leading into the fight, that was people are saying, is he going to win? Is he? I couldn't tell you. It could have been, like I said, 50-50, but it could have been 70-30 either way. I didn't know. They gave me a few options of fighters, and I said no to them all at the start because I'm like, mate, he's just a kid.
I liked how he didn't rush after the first stop. After he put the Mexican down that first time, he moved across the ring, established his distance, but then picked his shots.
Yeah.
He didn't rush. You can see that can be a little bit dangerous sometimes with Mexicans.
Yeah.
You run in. We saw it. Casamayor, Katsitas.
Yeah.
Not
we've
only
seen
do
it
you
time
run
and
in
time
and
again.
get caught, though, you can run in and waste your shots,
Yep.
and he
Yeah.
didn't do that.
You've spoken to him. Where's his head at now? How pumped up is he?
Yeah, he's stoked, mate. He's on cloud 9. I mean, it's a little bit. I'm sure it's awkward for him over there because they can't go anywhere really. So every time I ring him, he's in his room. But I don't think he realises what he's done. To be
And
honest.
it'd be tricky for him over there too. Obviously there's been two devastating, things that happened to both the Maloney boys, and
Yeah, I
vague-
guess he would sort of feel
Yeah.
awkward about being excited about his fight.
When does he get home?
I think he leaves today. Then 2 weeks in Sydney quarantine, and then
he leaves today.
I think today or tomorrow.
But Tony and that don't do they?
No, they don't. No.
They got a big
So if
meeting
they
tomorrow.
quarantine in Sydney for 2 weeks, do they then have to quarantine here as well?
I'm
No,
not
no,
sure. I
just
think
the
he's
2
just
weeks
2 weeks in
Okay.
Sydney, then he comes back.
Yeah, then he comes back.
Yeah.
Where's he go from here?
Well, mate, no rush. What's the rush? I mean, as I say, he was 17 4 months ago, so he's just on 18. He's 2-0. I'd be thinking maybe 3 fights next year, 3 the year after that, and then he's 20 because he's still a boy. You could see his body.
How important was it to have, obviously, big shout out to Phil from Oxmar for putting the day on at Pine Rivers there for us all to be. That was an amazing day.
Yeah.
Liam showing up, Miles showing up. We had Mick Francis from Tasman. We had Dean Lonigan there, before the fight were there. It must feel good that, that this kind of support's coming out for him.
Yeah, and that's our club, mate. That's our club in a nutshell. You saw that. There's 150 people there. In the 10 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, so it's always the way. It's a family club.
Not only that though, like there was other people there as well. Like, I mean, we were there. We drove 45 minutes to get there. Like we wanted to watch Vegas fight. We wanted to be there and support him as well. So I think that just shows that everyone believes in this kid.
Yeah, 100%. And how good for him. I mean, we went live to him in his dressing room before his fight, and what a buzz that would have been for him to see 150 people screaming his name. Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Phil.
Did you go with after? I saw something last night. You went up.
We went before and after.
Yeah.
It's good to have a good guy, and a passionate supporter of our great sport.
Yeah, he manages Vegas now, so Vegas is in great hands. I have all the trust in Phil, so yeah, good luck.
Now, Miles Zaluski, we spoke to him yesterday. He's not got another fight by the end of this year.
No.
But Liam does on No Limit, okay, on the Tim Zoo undercard. Talk to us a little bit about his fight and his opponent.
He fought George Kambosos, and halfway through that fight, I've watched that a few times, the judges had that at even, going into maybe the third or fourth round. So he's a dangerous fellow. He's Australian-based fellow who comes to fight. So, you know that you're not going to have to go looking for a fight if you're in with Liam, so...
No, obviously he's not going to have to find Liam.
Yeah.
Liam would be stalking him. That's what Liam does. That's his style. What do we need to worry about with this opponent?
He's a banger. He's a banger. He's got nothing to lose. So, yeah, he had no hesitations taking the fight. So that's what you've got to worry about, and Liam has to worry about that too, so...
What's the plans for 2021?
Who knows, mate? I don't even know what I'm doing after this. It's a whirlwind at the moment, so I'm just riding the wave.
Mate, you're doing well and you're looking good on that board.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Good on you. Ben Kite, Australasian champion, Australian champion, 17-4-1. You got a tough opponent and Pan Pacific title, IBF title.
Yes, that's correct. I'll be defending my Australian title and also fighting for the IBF Pan Pacific welterweight title.
Now, tell us a little bit about your opponent.
Yeah, Danny Kennedy. He's from Sydney, originally from England, I think, but he's in Sydney now. Tidy boxer, moves around a lot. He hasn't fought anyone, I don't think, that's been as good as the guys that I've fought lately. So it'll be a bit of a step up for him, I think, in competition, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm glad you touched on that, but at the same time, his name, your name, Tyson Best, all these kind of names get thrown around at the same, in the same kind of conversation. And also Andrew Hunt. So much like Stevie Sparks called out Justin Frost, Waylon Law, Liam Paro, there's a group of about 4 or 5 names in your weight division that get mentioned a lot in these conversations. Are you going to make sure that you're the clear head favourite in this group?
Look, I feel like I am already. My last 6 out of my last 7 fights have been with top 10 guys in my division. I can't keep fighting guys that are ranked below me. I need to keep moving up. So my goal from now moving forward will be to fight internationally and try to bring some big names over and make some big things happen there.
Feels good to be on another big card, mate?
Yeah, definitely. I'm super fortunate, thanks to obviously my team and also Tasman Fighters and DNL Events for having us on the next show. But yeah, I've been really lucky to be able to stay active through the whole COVID period and still get a couple of big fights out before the end of the year and keep on working our way up.
No, and even though he's fighting back, it's still important that he gets a fight on this card at this time of the year.
100%. And what, you're going to fight twice this year? Is this your third?
Yeah, this will be my second fight this year. So I actually had surgery on my hand at the start of the year, I wouldn't have been able to fight until sort of middle of this year anyway.
Yeah, so
I haven't really lost anything. It's been good.
To come out of it heading into Christmas, to have 2 really good hitouts this year against Danny Kennedy, who's a seasoned veteran, as Ben was saying before, and for those who don't know, he's done a lot of sparring with George Kambosos before he went over to Florida, and George had some really big raps on him, but they actually used him I don't know why they thought that his style was a little bit similar to Selby's, but that's what George said. And, he said this will be a really, really good fight. But Fox Sports, live on TV, big feather in your cap to have to see the year out. And good on him, mate, for trying to, have a look at... And this, with the IBF now, making this, as Shannon said before, with the IBF coming in on board with this world ranking points and certain things that you will move up, that entices... for him to fight a top 15, top 20 in the world in the welterweight division, or potentially bring someone out here, because we all know that there's going to be some massive big cards happening out here in April next year.
Now, really quickly, we're just going to touch, because we had Tyson Best on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we touched on your fight with him. He dug deep to get out of that first round. Benny did come back off the canvas and to then dictate the terms of the fight.
I've always said Benny's a workhorse. Just like I remember people saying about Geoff, you don't know how awkward he is until you get in there. You don't know how fast Manny Pacquiao is until you get in there with him. You don't know how much he works until you get in there with him.
Workload.
Yeah, big work
Keeps coming forward and... look, that was a great fight. I actually watched that fight. Well, you were doing some stuff there that night, weren't you?
Yeah, we were there, yep.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and I froze when you went down that first round, but then again, you showed the credit of what a true champion does, how you can get knocked down, got yourself back into the fight for the next couple of rounds, and then really, basically, with his experience, out-hustled Tyson Best.
Look, experience and fitness.
Yeah, and he backed himself. He backed himself, okay? Now, there's few and far between these days that we're seeing in the international and the domestic scene where someone will take a drop, take a big hit, especially early in the rounds, and then compose, recover, and then go on to win the fight. This is why you're getting these big ticket kind of events. This is why you're that good blue collar worker. Do you think you're just going to be too strong for Danny Kennedy?
Yeah, I really believe at the end of the day, this fight, I want to be able to showcase my ability and my skills a little bit more. I feel like I won the fight with Tyson Best because I bit down hard on my mouth guard and just went, all right, let's go. Yeah.
So less of the dirty boxing. Okay, but you're going to be boxing a bit longer with him?
I'd like to be a bit cleaner and a bit neater. And yeah, the boys like Luke and Steve have spent so much time working on, making me a better boxer, a cleaner boxer than I got to showcase in my last fight.
But that's something that you work on. You can't just go and work on something in camp and put it straight into your next fight. People have been telling me to use my jab for 10 years, and I just decided last fight I might start using it.
And look how that worked. It worked out really well. Now we're hoping to see a few more jabs out of you too.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Madison are on board.
Yep.
Who else has come on board as a sponsor to help you out?
So I've got a great team of sponsors behind me. I've got Brisbane Lawyers, Buddy Finance, the Heitman Property Group, Rodriguez Property Group, Damon Warrett from Ray White, Professional Recovery Services, City Cave, Madison Sport, Flex Public Relations. They've been helping out with all my social media stuff and that.
Shout out to Brent Q from Flex Public Relations.
Legend.
Good guy.
And then I've got a mobility coach who's just come on board, Made Method. Her name's Braden. And also Nat from Outliers. He's like a performance coach.
Now, where do you think Danny Kennedy's strong? What do you have to, be cautious of? What do you have to be aware of?
He looks like he's a reasonably awkward style of a mover. He moves his feet a lot. He's in and out a lot. I think so. Trying to catch him but not rush at him will be.
Ben Kite, thanks for being on the show, champion.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me, guys. It was a pleasure as always.
We are here before the fight is joined by the legendary Bang Bang Lulu Hawton, the WA princess. She's back in Australia from the States. You've been on a journey, man. We first ran into each other.
Yeah, what's
at Pacquiao Horn.
That's it. We did. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm wicked. I'm awesome. I just figured out Zoom, so I'm all over this shit.
You're now the tech god.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah.
We ran into you at Pacquiao Horn. Yep, 2016. You were still in Australia at that time, and you were looking for someone to promote you. You were looking for fights.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, you're over in the States. Talk to us. What happened? How did it happen?
I just was networking with people and meeting people. Obviously, that's what we got to do. And I ended up meeting Elvis online. and we got talking. Yeah, Elvis Grant. So we got talking, and he was like, "Well, I can help you out." So I was like, "Okay, well, I'll come over and I'll meet you." So I went over and I met him, and we signed I signed a managing contract with him for 3 years, and yeah, it just went from there. So he did his business, and I did mine in the ring.
Indeed.
Well, I won the WBC atomweight world title with Elvis, and then we defended it again in 2019. So, well, originally I fought against Brenda Flores.
That's it, Brenda Flores, 13-4-1.
Yes, but I was robbed on that decision as well. So it was
were you?
Yeah, so I was really feeling what happened over the weekend with Maloney.
With Andrew.
But, absolutely. I just, man. Yeah, I felt that pretty deeply because I've been through that myself. And that was, there was a lot of controversy over that. And the direct rematch was ordered from that because they knew that they had made a mistake. And the best
that in Vegas as well?
No, that was in California.
It was in California, yeah.
Yeah. So the Elvis worked hard at getting the rematch, and so did the California Commission and the WBC, so that was reordered to fight Brenda Flores again, and that was going to be in December. So I fought in September, and I was going to rematch her in December, and then I think it was about 10 days out from the fight, we had the media workout, and then about couple of hours, I'm not sure how quickly, but I found out that night. So I think it was within the time that the stuff went viral and all of that, she pulled out of the fight.
And how'd you find the whole experience over there in the States?
It was great. I got to meet some really awesome people. It's been a dream of mine to be over there. So it was an awesome experience. It was challenging for me coming from Australia and, being a mother of two, to be away from my children a lot. Like I found that really quite mentally challenging and emotionally challenging, but I understood what I was doing there and the dream that I was creating and my vision that I was creating with Elvis at the time. So Elvis trained, yes, he was also my coach. So he trained me to, win my second world title and also defend it. So I mean, everybody I met over there and the work I was getting was fucking awesome. It was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Just a great experience all around.
Who were some of the people that you were running into over there and training with or meeting? Who were some of the names?
Well, I got to spend some intimate time with Triple G and have dinner with him, and which was so cool because he's one of my favorite fighters.
So COVID hit when you were over there, and what happened in the States?
COVID hit while I went back to the States because I had come over here. Elvis and I had come back here for Christmas, and then he went back and I stayed with the children. And then I went over, I think, was it February, just before Australia went crazy for toilet paper.
Are you trying to get a fight over in WA? When we were talking earlier today, it looks like you were trying to get a fight in WA.
Well, would be the WBC champion, the full champion, Fabiana. I'd love to fight her at 102 pounds. So I'm pretty motivated. I'm excited about the opportunities that can be created and that can arise. And yeah, it's for Australian boxing, I think like having these good fights. Yeah, we have people like the Maloney brothers, and we have Tim Tszyu, who's now making a lot of noise, and he's a good fighter. I definitely feel like he's got the skills to go the whole way. And there's quite a few other good fighters from Australia that can really put on great shows. So
there really is at the moment. Liam Parra's
he's coming up too, and there's not just one superstar in Tim Tszyu now that he fought Jeff Horn, but there's all of us, and there's some really good girls coming up as well.
Are you on wait for a 6-week call out? That seems to be happening a lot at the moment.
Am I on wait for a 6 week? Well, I've kind of been indulging and enjoying myself, but yeah, I can do it. Absolutely, I can do anything, man.
That's awesome. That is the right attitude. And with that attitude, you should do really, really well. Now we've got to get you the support and the noise.
That would be great. I mean, I would love to feel the love and support from Australia. You know, I've been overseas, putting my best foot forward always and raising my hand. So, you know, to feel the love and support from Australia, I know that I can put on good shows. I'm entertaining and exciting, and you know, I'm excited to be home. So what I can bring is definitely something that I don't think many have seen of me in this country. So
have you got some sponsors on board that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I've got Raider SS sponsoring me right now, so it's good. But yeah, not so many, man. I'm just kind of stunned back and doing my thing.
Thanks so much for the Zoom call. We thank you.
Awesome to catch up with you again.
It was obvious to everybody on the weekend that there was a bit of controversy with the Andrew Maloney fight. A decision that has erupted over the world, across the world. We've seen it on Joe Rogan, and but we also saw Joe Rogan talk about Benjamin Hussein's jaw. So obviously with Australia having some fights going on, the rest of the world's watching, and big names like Joe are watching, and he posted directly on Twitter to his enormous fan base that this man got robbed, and what do we do about it, and what a disgusting decision.
What he's put into this sport, and just to have it taken away from you like that, to go and fight a world title and lose, yeah, it sucks. But to have it taken away from you like that, that was disgusting. Like, I've sparred that kid so many times. I've worn those jabs. Those jabs closed his eyes. Like, there was no head clash. They replayed it. There was a slight little something on the other side.
On the other side?
That was on the other side of the guy's head, and it was nothing that would close that eye. Like that, to close an eye, that's a big head clash.
Bob Arum's plan was obviously to give Andrew his chance to win this fight fair and square in the rematch. Bob was furious. He wanted Andrew, obviously, to win the fight. So Robert Byrd sat there. Robert Byrd should have sat there and had that knocked over in 4 to 5 minutes. Then it went on for 6 or 7 or 8 minutes. Then Bob Bennett sort of started to come in. And then the longer you look at something, you start thinking about, oh, how does this look? Bob Bennett is responsible for this, and it's a disgrace.
They couldn't find a head clash to save themselves.
They couldn't, but one thing that does need to be brought up is the fact that the ref didn't call for the video.
Correct.
So if it does go and there's a protest, which I'm assuming the Maloney's will protest, and they've got every right to.
Good point.
If they protest it, then Garcia's side can also protest the fact that the ref didn't call for the video. So I don't think that the decision is going to get changed. I think there's going to be an immediate rematch. But I think on both sides, the ref was in the wrong. The ref should have called for the video, and he didn't, which means...
At the end of the first?
At the end of the fight. So apparently at the end of the fight, the ref can call for... to prove that it was a head clash, and the ref didn't. They did it, but the ref didn't call it. There's like a yellow light or something.
I think they
light. And apparently that didn't happen.
Okay. Didn't happen.
So if it gets overturned, Garcia's side have every right to blow up as well.
But I've heard they can do it during the rounds too.
Massive shout out to Angelo Hyder, Team Maloney, Tony Tolge, getting the boys over there, class fights, looking after Vegas Larfield like they did. Not enough's been said, you know, for Ange looking after Vegas. He did a great job, you know, and they made big things happen. They chanced their hat. The fact that they got robbed, I hope that the right decision comes from this and that we can move forward and that Andrew can have that strap around his belt that he so rightly deserves.
Absolutely.
Expect than expected.
Yeah, should be alright. Big Rob. I got my bodyguards here. Big Aukuso brothers, and then we've got Geoff Frazer just in case they don't do their job. Alright?
Mate, they look hungry, you better feed them.
Taro milkshake.
Yeah, I got a kids class at 3:45. So
alright, sweet, yeah.
We'll make it back.
What's yeah, what we'll do is we'll head towards your gym and that, and then we'll go to a Macca's or whatever around there. Yeah, all good.
Sounds good to me.
Blue tax there.
Oh, is it Jeff shout today?
Nah, mate.
No, I'll shout. I got yours.
Nah, mate.
I'm a prize fighter, bro. Haven't you heard how much money promoters pay in those boxes? Mate, I had to retire from Hollywood.
I can't be you guys buying shit food for you when I tell you not to eat it all the time.
So who wins in the spar to these two?
Oh, turns who turns up on the day.
Well, what's the weight difference?
10 kilos.
Oh, okay.
80 and 90. 81, 91.
Oh,
Mate,
so you're bigger, Paulo, huh?
Nah, I'm the smaller one.
Smaller but older.
Yeah, I'm 80. He's
No,
90.
honestly, I've never seen.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
I've never seen anyone go as hard as Paulo does on Austin.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, you literally try to kill the poor bastard. I'm sitting there going, work together, boys. And the thing is, they know each other.
Yeah.
It's world class sparring, but I'm just like, boys.
So how many amateur fights did you have, Paulo, or have you had?
Oh, I don't even know. I keep losing my ball. I think I have about less than 40.
It'd be 38, 39, I think.
Yeah.
And they're all association, or?
Yeah, all the ABA. So you got Austin had like 28 fights in a year.
What's your plans with like them? Like, when would Paulo turn pro? When would Austin turn pro? Do they want to turn pro?
We've been talking about it because we're like, we can't get any fights in the amateurs, so we're like, okay, well maybe we'll look at turning pro to get a couple of fights before the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's likely next year.
But so it was no rush because the boys only been boxing 4 years. Like Paulo started when he was 19. You started when you were 18, didn't you, Austin? So they're still new in the sport, so no real rush. But now it's like we've run out of opponents in the amateurs, so we don't really know. We're looking at where to go from there. So.
Alright, so what I want to ask you, if there's one, I remember the first fight, if there's one fighter in the pro scene that when Paulo turns pro he calls out, who does he want?
I want Clay Waterman.
Clay Waterman?
Yeah.
I reckon he'll sleep him in the first round.
That's a sick fight.
Good fight. I reckon honestly Paulo puts him to sleep in the first or second round.
Second round?
Too small. He's too small. Well, that's why I think we build him into a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Paulo will be. I thought Paulo could have made super middle, but now he's just he's still growing. So he's I'd say light heavyweight will be his division.
Okay. So Paulo's going straight for Clay Waterman.
Yeah. Nah, it's just because like everyone's talking about Clay Waterman.
Okay.
And like I want that sport.
And you're sparring the best in Australia as well.
Yeah, they've done a bit of work with Geoff Frazer.
Okay.
They were the main sparring partners for Geoff Frazer and Ben Kite.
Oh yeah.
So that was good quality rounds to watch. They had Paulo in there for 5, then Austin in there for 5 with Jai, and that was a good measuring stick to see where these boys are at.
Yeah.
So it's really like even Jai's dad was stoked. He goes, mate, this is. He goes, I heard they were good. I didn't realise they were that good. So so people are starting to take notice now.
I think that's the way to go, man. Just as in like fight. If you can't beat the Australians, you're not beating the Mexicans and Americans, true?
Oh, 100%. Exactly. I look at it and go, there's too many times I see guys that are getting these records and they're flying in guys from overseas and and it's like, well, who is this guy for? And then you look at it and go, oh, hang on, he used to fight 2 divisions below.
Yeah.
He's a bit older, and it's like, oh, they're fighting these imports, but it's like they're not actually testing themselves. They're not. And then all of a sudden they get to the top level and they're falling short. And I'm like, this is the problem with a lot of these Australian boxers. It's like they're not getting tested enough, or they're not getting enough good sparring. And then they go overseas and they fall short.
Are you eating, Paulo?
Am I eating?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need food, man. Where's the nearest Macca's to like?
I'm starving.
Who's better dancer?
This guy. Put a few drinks on. Oh, bro, it's the best dancer ever, I swear.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm Chris Brown, mate. Chris Brown.
You look like Chris Brown with his glasses
on. Oh, mate.
Right?
You see,
Chris Brown, I get Usher a lot of it.
You see, who's someone that you've actually been in with that you can say can actually bang a bit?
Who can bang?
Who can bang?
Who's the biggest puncher you've ever sparred? Or fought?
Biggest puncher?
Yeah.
Mine? I've sparred heaps of people, but mine will have to be one of the super heavyweights.
Okay.
Fobby.
Where's he from?
Is that
Fobby?
Django?
Yeah, Django.
Oh, Django.
Yeah.
You call him Fobby?
Yeah, that's what you call him, Fobby?
Yeah, we call him Fobby. But because we were sparring, and because I would just be on the outside.
Yeah.
And then I seen the timer, it was only like 5 seconds left. So I just put my hands up and I thought I would take a punch.
Yeah.
Just went straight from my hands.
He's a
guard and just.
I reckon he's the toughest, one of the toughest dudes I've ever seen, man. Like Django.
Oh, he can take a punch.
He hits shots that I'd be asleep for 5 days.
Man,
Seriously,
I look at him and go, I've seen him headbutt shots. Like he slips and he headbutts him, and I'm sitting there going to Austin, the other body, don't hit you. And he's hurt Austin's wrist before. Austin's hit him with the left.
Yeah.
And he's just got a head like a brick, man. That's why. Like
the worst one that does that is Alex Leapoy. When I spotted him, he headbutted my shot.
Yeah.
My wrist like sort of just snapped down, and that was it.
All right. The prize fighter is about to order. I'm shouting. I got you.
Don't go crazy, boys.
No, what if you...
Mine's the medium.
Yours is medium?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
They're not going to find us here.
Oh, did you park in the parking bay? Parking bay's back there.
It is, huh?
Yeah.
A big possible fight for me in the future, which will like sell out of Melbourne Stadium, like would be me and Zarafa. We got everyone knows about me and Zarafa, like just kind of competitiveness.
Yeah.
I like his attitude, eh?
Packages. Even if I can get there.
We're in.
Yeah, I'll drop you off, okay? Get out.
No worries.
I'll come in anyway to eat my food, but
yeah, you're right.
You can get out first.
Easy. Thanks, mate.
So today was some good fun. Thanks to Paulo and Austin Aukuso, and also Geoff Frazer for jumping on board and getting involved in Camako Carpool Episode 2. And last but not least, big shout out to the crew, Joe and Luke Camilleri from Grand Prix Mazda Aspley, for all the support they're showing for Camako Carpool and before the fight. Peace.
You know, and a little shout out to Stevie Sparks getting his, he's got a great WBC title on the weekend against Cronin the Barbarian. Obviously, Smithy having to put the fight together on last notice after Chad Collins' team pulled him out on a concussion that, you know, it's hard to talk about, but 4 days out from the fight that apparently they knew about for weeks in advance.
Oh, really?
But Stevie getting the WBC title, you know, he had to show up on the night. Doesn't matter who he was going to fight, and he got it done. So, yeah, so some really good cards coming on.
Sometimes, you know, it's very disheartening as a fighter. Obviously, he prepped for a fight that then 4 days out of the fight was off. That's hard. That happened to me once. I ended up fighting a Thai, and you know, I got put down for fighting a Thai, but it was fight her or fight nobody. It's hard to mentally get your head around that as well. So good on Stevie.
Glad he got a fight across the line in the end and showed up for the crowd. He's got good support up there, and the people love him. So well done to him and his team. But lots more to talk about next week, and obviously a Camako Carpool coming out, which was a lot of fun with Ben Harrington last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's only going to get better. So thank you for watching. I'm Rob Shife, and you're watching Before the Fight.